worry.
Great. Oh, that's good. I was just saying, why don't you ever get any older? What are you doing? Oh, thank you. You know,
this evening, and I'd like to welcome you all to another fabulous Roger Foley LSD Fogg production. Anyway, our master of ceremonies tonight is Mr. Austen Tayshus, so let's give him a big round of applause.
I'm just the MC tonight, but I will be taking a few liberties and doing a show of my own. I'll be doing it 19 hours of comedy. But that will start immediately after the Adrian Rawlins tribute. So at 2 a.m, I will start with my show. And I don't know how much people have paid to come in here, but it's not very much. I'm not seeing it. But I'll tell you what, this is about Adrian Rawlins. Until 3 a.m, this is an Adrian Rawlins show. Now, I just wanted to know how many people here had Adrian Rawlins sleeping on their floor. And this is just like a bit of a census. And how many people refused Adrian a place in their house towards the end of his life? So how many people are here to exorcise the guilt that they feel about that? But I'll tell you what, Adrian, I had a great fondness for Adrian, and I did many shows in Melbourne where I'd hire him, and then he would say, can I sleep in your hotel, and can I eat your fridge? And that was always cool with me, because I just had a lot of money in those days, and now I'm fucked, but it doesn't matter. That's because I helped so many people out. But the thing is, I only joke, it's just comedy. But Adrian, I remember Adrian would support me at, has anybody been to Melbourne at all here? Because this actually looks like a fairly poor crowd. But Virgin, I mean, they got specials on the net. But I'll tell you what, I used to work in the Continental in Melbourne, which was a fairly sophisticated cafe in Prahran, and Adrian would be the MC, and Adrian would introduce me, and he was always loving with his introductions. And then he would go and sit in the audience, and there'd be, thousands of people in the audience, and he would go and sit in the middle, and all you could hear the whole night was Adrian. But he would be laughing at things that weren't funny. He would be laughing so everybody would know that he was there, which is the mark of a poet. Anyway, I don't want to be too anecdotal or too clever, because I can see it's not a clever crowd. So, no, I'll keep it at a fairly base level, because what I find is the cleverer I get, the more dissatisfied the audience becomes. Now, that's a particularly Australian phenomenon. I've just been in the West, where I'm sure nobody's travelled to from this crowd. Has anybody been, past Dubbo at all? Just out of interest? No, a couple of people. No. Okay, these are rhetorical questions. But anyway, I was out in Western Australia, where culture hasn't reached, and I was in a place called Rockingham, which is in fact the home of the Paralympics, and this is just prior coming to the Adrian Rawlins tribute show, and the intellect there is minimal, and most people, if you speak to people in that area, they will say to you, now, and then I come here, this is a civilised room, not well-travelled, but a civilised room. How are you? You all right? It's only $20, and I'll tell you what, but there is an intelligence in this crowd which is a little bit above the Rockingham thing. because that's like a special bus there, and that is, no, you know, believe it or not, Australia is predominantly fucking thick. Can I use that word thick? I don't know, but so Adrian would be there, and he would be going but anyway, and I've got thousands of anecdotes, Adrian Rawlins anecdotes, and Fogg who shaved his hair recently, and actually just looks like an old man now. And no, I mean, it doesn't look like a hippie anymore, but but he said to me, if you're going to take the piss out of Adrian, balance it. And unfortunately, I've got no balance, but Adrian, I remember once Adrian stayed at my house for 6 years, and as I'm sure other people have similar stories, but Adrian stayed at my house, and we used to call him the fridge dweller. There's actually a film made about him. It was a documentary, and he actually Ashabaloo. I don't know, people know Ashabaloo? The paintings didn't sell, but anyway, Ashabaloo told me once that Adrian stayed in his house for 3 months and ate everything. So when he would replenish the supply, Adrian would eat everything again. So they actually didn't eat. Excuse me, mate, I'm performing. Anyway, so people have no respect in Australia. So if that was Rockingham, so he would have turned around and gone, "Hey, fuck off, mate." And that's what's got a proud Australian I am. I have been working in this country for 20 years, and my audience is dwindling, to be honest. Because I'm the sort of comedian that unsettles an audience. People say, well, yobbos will say, what's he talking about? Now, you know, the Brian Brown, that's the Brian Brown mentality. But other people say, has anybody seen the magnificence of Dirty Deeds? Anyway, because the country's polarised. Anyway, the genius of Australia. So Gary Maddox actually pointed something out the other day that maybe we're a bit soft on our films and critically, and I agree. But anyway, but I don't want to get into cinema here because this is about Adrian. This is about poetry, and I'll actually be reciting some of Adrian's poetry if I can find it. Joe Zareski actually pointed out. Do people know Joe Zareski? Not really. Anyway, he pointed out that Adrian was a good poet, and. Is that a consensus? Do people think that Adrian was a good poet? Yes. So, is Judith Durham here? Is T.S. Eliot here, that anti-Semitic bastard? Is he here? Anyway, but we will be discussing Adrian's poetry in depth. We'll actually be having a big panel discussion here. I think Eddie Maguire's coming down, and there'll be questions, and we might even ask the audience. That's a dumb thing, isn't it? I mean, if you're on that show, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, the thing you don't do is ask the audience. Because the audience is going to say, what are you actually talking about? Now, because we are Australian. Anyway, but I don't want to get too provocative at this early stage, because this crowd is just a little weary. There's a lot of people here that I've seen in Byron Bay and 15, 20 years ago who were fucked up then. And I don't know what you're doing here, but how are you? You haven't laughed at all yet. There's actually been quite a little bit of subtle stuff. You Armenian or something, or you're not an asylum singer, are you? Because it's out of Roselle. But I tell you what, that's what it all should be. But I tell you what, Kingo's over there, and people know Peter Kingston. Yeah. Kingo and I just went on a harbour cruise together. We had a terrific time, and the people are still reeling, he tells me, from my performance on the boat, because we actually threw people off the boat in the middle of the harbour with the whale thing. The whales were so fantastic, it was so wild. We were so outward, we took some mouthful. We actually went inside the whale. We had a little candle, and it was just like Jonah. Anyway, it's a weird biblical thing. But where are you from, mate? Because no, honestly, some people do find this humorous, and you're resisting. Is that why? Is there some reason? Oh, you're doing an Adrian Rawlins impression now, are you? Say something funny. I've been working for 20 years in Australia, and that's the first time I've heard that. you're a very perceptive man. Because you can see, and look at me and you can see, this guy's not really funny, he's just fucking playing at it. And I'm going to get it where it hurts. That's why you came along, isn't it, hey? You thought, Austen's appearing, it's only $10, I'll go up there and fuck him up. Is that what your thing was? Hey? You're not the froggy.com bloke, are you? Anyway. Oh, well, we're running out of time? We'll spit it up. Fuck off. Anyway, no. Sorry. I'm sorry, because I'm on Prozac. But I'll tell you what, no, I'm actually on Viagra. Actually, Viagra are my sponsors because I'm a stand-up kind of guy. Anyway, so that was clever. How was that? Eh? Is that good for you? Dickhead. Anyway, so... Dickhead. Anyway, Australia proliferates with this mentality, which is, I'm smarter than the comedian, and it's been hard negotiating that, but I'm still a star, buddy. I'm still standing up, eh? I bet you're not. Yeah. Anyway. How are you? You alright? Okay. And there we go, big line. What a fantastic job. And people are calling for more, and Nick will be coming back at 3 a.m. to do another 6 hours of that, and he's going to do the same song. But I'll tell you what, Nick will be doing the entire Fiddle on the Roof. Somewhere everybody is Jewish. And this crowd, and there's not many Jews in here, but there are a few Jews, and they're vocal. But I'll tell you what, we are a vocal people, and, sorry? Don't say anything anti-Semitic, but, no. Anyway, but, there's that guy there, but, I was out there and I was just trying to recollect some more anecdotal Adrian Rawlins stuff for people. There's something anecdotal about this crowd. In fact, actually, this is an antidote, this crowd, to what's going on in Australia at the moment. Because the country's fucked, but in this little room, there is more enthusiasm and joy and joie de vivre than there is in Wollstonecraft. And John Howard, you know, I mean, I've spent a bit of time with John Howard. I've hung out with a guy, you know, and I turned out fucking boring. You know, I was with John Howard, we were at university at the same time. We'd sit around, we'd have a few joints, and you know, you just try to get John to stand up, and you know, are people talking over there? But you know, this room was when Nick Lyons was on, I just thought, I hope he plays forever. And no, I mean because Australia's just turning into New Zealand. Does anybody people know what I'm saying? So I met an Australian guy the other day and he said to me, "That's fantastic." Now this was an Australian person who had a New Zealand accent. And it's like my children go to Jewish schools and they have to learn to speak South African. Because I don't know if people have noticed, but there's such a proliferation in this area of the South African mentality. And my daughters go to Mariah and they have to say, "Where did you pop the cock?" Over and over and over again. Did you pop on the grass or did you pop up your arse? The whole fucking day. Now my wife and I, we have to speak to the South African boys. You know, our gardener is South African, our pool cleaner is South African, our real estate agent is South African. Where's it going to end? So what we got is Australia, populated by New Zealand mentality, full of South Africans. We don't even have apartheid, we have reconciliation. And I was with an Aboriginal bloke the other day, this is a true story, this is the guy, the architect of Ayers Rock, the bloke who built Ayers Rock. Because I met this guy in the 70s, I was out at Ayers Rock because the dingo took my baby. And I was out at Ayers Rock, and this guy, he said to me, "One day, mate, he's fucking rock. He's going to be crawling with German backpackers." I don't know about you, but I don't care what sort of packer they are, they give me shit. And just on that, that was so serious, mate, it's just music. But this guy, he's got no internal organs, a giant amount of property, and this guy, I don't want to be rude, but this guy said, Kerry Packer picked a pilot pretty perfectly. He didn't pop your cock. Where are you from, man? I don't care. I brought up the fucking... No, I'll tell you what. I was with an original suicide bomber about 2 weeks ago. And he said, "Go fucking look out, you fucking white cunt. We're on the fucking move. Get fucking sick of this. Taking a back seat. Look at how the name is here, eh? Or remembers Albert." So I could go on like this for hours. But then Nick Lyon would want to come back. I'll tell you what, I'm only joking. No, it's really wonderful for me to see so many old faces, and it's not Byron Bay. I'll tell you what. Because if it was Byron Bay, we're going to be fucked in the head. Some people have Compass Mendes in here, except for you, mate. What's going on? You're going to take the laughter with you, aren't you? 50 years from now, you're wandering around like Ron Mabuki in the middle of the fucking desert, waiting for a channel on a chopper. You're bursting laughing and think, that was a top night at the Adrian Rawlins. Maybe you'll be sitting there somewhere going, at the wrong time. Now, I remember Adrian, I can't keep going, I know, where's Fogg? I remember Adrian, he was at my house for about, 9 years, and once, and I remember one day I came in the room, and he was running his penis on my carpet. And I thought to myself, what a fucking pleasure. Anyway, so, actually he was a sweet guy. I'll tell you what, and it's some bereavement, where was the feeling with it? That was wonderful, and we're just so fortunate to be here tonight because actually the ABC are here, I think Tayshus Ross is here, and our planning to turn this into a show. She's actually the last person left at the ABC, but she, that anybody knows. And she's, is it going to happen, Dash? Is that type of thing?
What's going to happen, mate?
Anyway, nothing's going to fucking happen, but because we live in the Big Brother world. But I've got a new show actually. It's Ivan Milat's Big Brother, and what happens is, can you shut up? No, it's my show. So, no, what's going to happen is that every week on the show, somebody gets killed, and preferably a British backpacker. But isn't it wonderful? And we look at our television these days, and there's just nothing to watch, and yet there's so much talent in this country.
6 feet under! Yes!
Apart from 6 feet under. I'm trying to make a point here. I'm trying to make the point that there's nothing to watch. Then you start coming out with shows that are watchable, which makes my job difficult because, do you understand what I'm trying to say? When you shout out, I can say foreign correspondent. Yeah, it's a subjective thing, and what happens inevitably is that my point won't get through. And this crowd, it's not a smart crowd, and when Jenny was on, it's not even an energetic crowd. Nobody was even going, woo! And luckily, we've got Maury Fields coming on in a second to really to lift the spirits in here. And also, do people remember Maury from, because I was with Daryl Summers at the car park where he works, and no, it's only a couple of weeks ago. What a genius he was. A genius man. And he should have stayed on TV for, ever. More times than Billy Connolly's appeared on Parkinson. And I'll tell you what, Maury Fields, when I saw Maury Fields at the Steady Eddie rehabilitation, Anzac Day celebration at the Crude Island, Rose Hancock, the memorial concert there at the Hammersley Eye, and up there at the Kimberleys down in Mount Victoria there in whatever, he was brilliant. No, Fields could just, I mean, he could delve deep, like Jenny did. I mean, there was a bit of spiritual work happening here. It wasn't just the church thing, you know, being Jewish. I mean, I'm not right into the Jesus thing. In fact, if he came back, we'd fucking kill him again. But, sorry. I'm on Prozac, Retinol, lithium, and Viagra. But actually, I was with Rose Hancock, this was only a couple of weeks ago, and that was a true story. I just want to say this, just we're going into the break, and Roger Foley has pointed out to me 15 times that the tuck shop will be open. So if you want some water, anyway, but I was with Rose Porteous, or Hancock Porteous, or whatever, and she said to me, this is a true story, she said to me,
Lang was lying over there in a coma. I crept in the room. I grabbed a pillow. I sit on the pillow on top of Lang. The misogynistic, racist pig in the heart. I say to myself, Rose, relax. This is it. Gina was asleep in another part of the house, like an extinct dinosaur, being narrated by Kenneth Branagh. I whispered to Lang, would you like to eat here or take away? I pushed hard.
they want me to continue with this, I don't know. No, because it is in poor taste, but I can see this is a sophisticated crowd. It's not a smart crowd, but it's a sophisticated crowd. There are people here that obviously read, but are not flamboyant.
I pushed hard on the pillow. Iron ore was coming so to me.
Oh, okay. I've just got another 40 minutes of Porteous, and
Lang was almost dead. Gas. I was completely relaxed. You like some pork? I feel like pork, or you like that? You like some sweet corn? Sweet corn.
anyway, like, I can't just stand up. Like, I'm not getting no fucking money for this. I mean, we've got to take over professional. Love song jail for Proof Rock. No, but
Iron ore was coming out of every pore.
anyway, that just goes. Honestly, that's a 9-hour routine. It gets really erudite. And people, you're fucking lost already, mate. And I've got your kids in here. I mean, you don't bring your kids to this sort of. This is an Adrian Rawlins tribute. I mean, you know about Mr. Poetry? Anyway, so I'm not going to go into this subtle stuff there, but anyway, we're going to a break now. We're going to take a 5-hour break, and then Telstra. A big fat John Farnham on the bus. Well, I'm in that sort of just before that thing. And that's why I'm not getting very much, but I'm actually getting paid more than the other performers tonight. Actually, nobody's getting paid, but I am. But Roger's getting paid. But no, because Dasher Ross from the ABC did say to me I could go and play school. Hi, I'm an out-of-work actor, and kids, today we're going to build a heroin-safe injecting room out of matches. Hi. So we'll go to the break, go in the tuck shop and hang out in the tuck shop. They got H2O in there. That's an amazing thing. But actually, the spirit of Adrian Rawlins is in the room, and his spirit actually asked me if anybody would have somewhere for him to stay tonight.
And whether he could stay for 6 years, and could they feed him? No, it's a spirit thing. Sorry? Oh, we're in here, sure, yeah. And Martin, I think Martin was the last one to refuse him occupancy. Because there's two people in town that you never, there's two people in Austen, there's two people in Australia, you never ever let stay at your house. One was Adrian Rawlins, and the other one was Terry Stanton. Now, we all know that because we are of the same, whatever. We are all people who were sick and tired of giving Terry Stanton fucking money. I'm actually the person who sent him to Bathurst to Tim Storian's house. Tim Storian wants to kill him. So does James Ricketson. Anyway, sorry, Samantha. I was supposed to keep this very short, so I'm only going to do another 40-50 minutes, and then I'll bring Samantha on. Because to be a stage manager / singer is a rare thing. It's like being a volunteer firefighter / arsonist. Anyway, I must say that, just know that she was fantastic. And just a little bit of biographical details. Her father was is Philmeister. He was were you the captain of the school? He was just a fucking arse-licking, school captain, pick up that paper, and it just shows you that talent can come out of the loins of a scumbag. I'm only joking. No, I'm a comedian, it's just a comedy show. Actually, a lot of the things that I say are not even representative of the way that I think. I said that in Rockingham and people said, but Philmeister at school was at the moment, he's defending Rodney Adler, and his daughter could come up here and do something so beautiful is Nissim, Nissim, that's Hebrew for a miracle. Anyway, and if Adrian was here, he'd be eating, but I'll tell you what, somebody else's pocket, and I'll tell you what, this is a tribute to Adrian, I don't want to say anything unkind. Have you laughed yet, honey? Not one single, that's how tight you are. Anyway, but I'll tell you what, this is a top crowd, and I'll be doing another 4 hours, and I'll bring another, sorry? That's the wife's getting upset. Hey, listen, hey, Osama, bin Laden, I will follow him. I am from Westbank. I was in the Westbank Bank in Ashfield. There were 700 people in the queue. There was one teller for 700 people. So Roger's giving my wind up. Fuck off, Roger. This is my show, mate. Sorry. Sorry, I went away. I shouldn't say that, but let's face it, I'm a professional. But it's a quick thing, Roger. It's a quick thing. I mean, I'm not even getting paid for this. Have I mentioned that before? I think that was that Dasha Ross who said that from the ABC? Turn the light off when you leave because anyway, but there are 700 people sitting there. All I want to do is kiss a chick for $5. I spend 900 hours in the bank. When I get to the tiller, he went off for lunch. I said to him, I will blow up the fucking world. Because this is an enemy who lives in the sand. They will track him relentlessly. And I'll be able to spell that word one day. I said to Donald Duck on Thursday. www.hollypowers.com. But I'll tell you be funny all night. And all the other performers here would think, fuck, that guy's funny. But what's the point, you know? People already give me the wind-up. But Phil Meister was a cunt at school. Anyway, here she goes, Rena. And she a winner blush, and that's what she makes me. And Rena will be coming back at 6 a.m. to do another 700 songs. And so we have, no, look, I know a lot of pikers are going to leave at, 2 or 3, but at 2 or 3 a.m., but we have a lot of stuff to go. And while I still have your attention, because a lot of people are getting inebriated, actually, a guy came over to me a few moments ago and he said, and it reminded me of a story, because the people know that when the white people arrived in Australia in the 16th century, that they were greeted at Whyalla by the Aboriginal people, and the Aboriginal people had been making alcohol for 140,000 years, and they gave alcohol to the white people, and they called it dream time. And I look around this room now, and I can see that the Aboriginals have a lot to be sorry about. And it's about time, because I was in Tennant Creek in Victoria, lock it in, Eddie, only a few weeks ago. Has anybody been to Tennant Creek? Has anybody been to the junction? People are getting tired of me now, but no, I can see that people are starting to think this guy's not fucking funny and bring on another singer. But I'll tell you what, I was in Tennant Creek and there are white people up there really suffering with chronic conjunctivitis. There are white people who don't live till 40, and it's about time the Aboriginal people had the guts to stand up and say, we're fucking sorry, you white cunt. But they won't do it, and because they don't have the guts. But I feel free in this crowd, which understands not much, but no, actually I've got to introduce somebody, because Roger Foley's on my back, and I'll tell you, you should be a stage manager, mate. Can you just tell me who's coming on, because I am. If Adrian was here, he would have already gone home, but to somebody's house. He'd be already, I'd get home and there'd be nothing left in the fridge, but sorry.